Yeah. So menopause is basically when your periods are slowly vanishing or vanished, like you are no more having periods for last 2 years. We call that lady has got menopause. So what happens in the menopause? Basically, the problem is, when we are young, as I told you, there are two hormones in the body which are coming from the ovary. That's estrogen and progesterone, and these hormones, they're very important hormones. They are keeping us young. They help ovary to make eggs, and they are keeping everything healthy. They are keeping your skin shining. They are keeping your bones very healthy. Your hair look beautiful. It's all because of estrogen and progesterone. So as you are approaching toward menopause, these hormones are slowly dropping down in your body, and this is the reason uh, everything like uh, everything is on the little higher risk of like bones are getting brittle, your body weight is also, you are gaining weight, and the skin is also getting wrinkled and all. So during menopause, there basically one should pay attention to two three things. Number one, the bone health is very very important. That's number one. Number two is, and during menopause or post menopause, if somebody is having bleeding, like for the 2 years you never had bleeding, you never had your periods, but after 2 years if you start having bleeding again, so that's worrisome. Don't think your period has come back, you are again start feeling younger and then fine, it's okay, so it's like the normal menstrual bleed. It's not basically. So the best idea is to check with your gynecologist, and she will advise you to go for ultrasound. Why ultrasound? We have to check the inner lining of the uterus, because usually once the menopause happens, the inner lining of the uterus becomes very thin, 4 to 5 millimeter or up to 8 millimeter, that's normal. But if it is more than 8 millimeter, it's more than 10 millimeter, that we have to rule out the possibility of endometrial cancer, which is basically, this cancer is very rampant in the foreign countries, but this is nowadays I'm seeing in the Indian women also. This is also, I mean, there are so many women, they are coming with biopsy report of the uterine endometrial cancer. So one has to keep the check. If the postmenopausal bleeding is happening, that they should not ignore it. Number one. Number two, there is one simple test. We call it pap smear. I think most of the women, they are listening to this talk, they have heard about it. What is pap smear? Basically, we take the cells from the mouth of the uterus and we send it for detailed examination under microscope. So this test is a very simple test. This is non-invasive, non-painful test. This is the same test, same way we can do as we do the internal examination. And trust me, there is no pain. So we can take, and this test is mandatory for all women, whoever is sexually active, even after the age of 20, 25, till the age of 60, one should be doing it regularly, every 3 yearly, 2 yearly, to check whether the cells on the mouth of the uterus is normal or not. As I told you, postmenopausal bleeding could be because of endometrial cancer. So the mouth of the uterus we call cervix, and the cervical cancer is number one killer in India. How we can detect cervical cancer? Cervical cancer, brittle, bones become weak, and if you are not in habit of taking dairy product, or there is a possibility that the bones really becomes weak. So one should be doing DEXA scan to check the bone health. That's also very very important.